So before we even get into this trailer, I need to preface this by saying something. I love Tron Legacy. And the fact that the characters from that movie I will never be able to see again, that I'll never be able to sit down in the theater and listen to that fantastic godlike soundtrack from Daft Punk just to be, in that moment. Like there are certain movies that I feel as though are complete experiences that you can only have once. Avengers Infinity War is one of them. Spider-Man 2 is another one. Tron Legacy is also one of them for me. Where when I walked into that theater, I did not know what to expect. And the story, the visuals, the characters, and the music swept me up and took me away. The fact that I will never be able to see those characters again pisses me off and also bums me the fuck out. Because a few years ago, we were supposed to get a sequel to Tron Legacy, and I forgot what movie came out, and it did really, really bad, and Disney canceled that. Ever since then, I've been in shambles. Like, absolute, complete, total shambles. So, going into this, I'm going to be slightly biased, I'm going to admit, because I do not like Jared Leto. Um, I know a lot of people, a lot of actors sign by the way in which he does his method acting. I feel as though Jared Leto is just the version of Shia LaBeouf that did not become self-aware. Like Shia LaBeouf did the whole method acting, pushed everybody away, uh, became an alcoholic, and then realized, oh shit, this whole method acting thing, like, it really makes me an asshole. I feel as though Jared Leto is stuck in that method acting asshole loop, and I can't enjoy anything. I haven't enjoyed anything that he's been in since Blade Runner 2049. I think it was the most recent one. And that's because his character was a side character, not a lead character. So I'm just prefacing that before we even go into this trailer. We'll dive into the trailer, we'll see what it's all about, of course, and then we'll have thoughts on the opposite end. Let me turn this down slightly.
Unit 12, acknowledging dispatch. Already in pursuit.
Oh shit.
I'm looking for something. Something I do not understand.
It's a fucking what's it called? A rectifier? A reclaimer?
Ready? Because there's no going back.
So hold on now. I thought from both Tron and Tron Legacy that in order for you to go from the digital world to the real world, at least that's how it was established in Tron Legacy, you had to be somebody like Korra, where your digital code is basically a variation of the building block of life human genetic code, which is why Cora's DNA sequence, when they pulled up her data, was both information but then also artificial biological information, and she had like a genome. Is that no longer the case in this? Are they getting rid of that concept? Because at the end of Tron Legacy, when they exit the digital world, I always assumed that they were ass naked. That anything that was inside the digital world, once you transition over into the real world, basically dematerialized because it didn't exist. The it didn't function in one of the three states, which is solid, liquid, or gas. And because it didn't function in any of the three states, it just simply dissipated. It couldn't transition in that jump. If that is no longer the case, that is insane because that is all out war. And this original shot of them on the light cycles, and then he activates the light beam from the back of the light cycle, and it instantaneously slices the car in half. That is legitimately what I always thought would happen if a light cycle, if you ever got hit dead on by that beam that the light cycle essentially puts out, where it's like solid on the sides, but it's like hot liquid plasma at its starting point. So that's cool as hell. Like all the visuals in this look absolutely fantastic. So the fact that we're maintaining those visuals, them riding the light cycles up the side of the mountain, it's like, who are they looking for? Because it said they're looking for someone, or he says that he's looking for someone but he doesn't know like what it is. It could be a case where they're looking for Cora because she's no longer in the digital world. But then didn't Sam shut this down? Is this still the grid, or is this something else, like a secondary system? Because I could have sworn that the grid was essentially shut down at the end of Legacy. But then is this like a soft reboot? What's going on? Like this right here piques my interest. Jared Leto does not pique my interest, but this right here piques my interest. And I'm assuming that we're seeing shots of whoever the main protagonist is going to be. I'm not looking up anything in regards to this. I like to be surprised when I go to the movie theater. I'm like, oh, holy shit, I didn't know that person was in here. I didn't know that person was in there. That's pretty freaking cool. I feel as though a lot of trailers give too much. This was the perfect trailer that did just enough. I really, really missed the aesthetic of the grid. The aesthetic of the grid is so fucking cool. And it looks as though, so in Legacy, all of this was gone. In Legacy, all of this was the sea of simulation. None of this was essentially here. It seems and the beacon to send you back to the human world was essentially closed. It was closed because Flynn had missed the cycles in order to get back, and then it reopened when Sam had essentially returned. Now it's just open, and they've completely built around this, just in every single freaking direction, which is pretty cool. But then is Tron going to be in this since he was in the last one? Or could we be looking at a situation where Tron is actually the villain again? Because he was the villain last time. Well, he was the mind controlled villain last time. It looks as though we're seeing what happens when an individual when a program dies in the real world. Looks way more brutal watching them fall apart. This is a really cool shot of, I forgot what that's called. It's like a rectifier or reclaimer, something along those lines. But then having like the light jets pop up on either side to like deflect the missiles. That's cool as hell. And then how do you fight that? Like if you're an F-16, how do you fight something that as you fight it can create hard light constructs that you can crash into and die? Yeah, this aesthetic has always been fucking cool. I have always loved the way in which like the armor goes on and the things get summoned. Like I'm really hoping we get to see a light cycle summon where he cracks the stick, throws it, runs, catches it in midair, and lands on a light cycle and just takes off. So I'd say I went from not really caring about this to being mildly interested in this, and that's a good thing. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Jared Leto, but I will definitely show up to watch this film because it does look as though it's interesting. I'm just hoping that it isn't a retcon and that it's not going to basically brush the events of Tron Legacy under the rug. I'm really hoping that well, I don't even know if he's the one searching for it, but I'm really hoping that what they're looking for is essentially Quora, because she's the key in some way, shape, or form, and maybe Sam is the key. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think about Tron ARES. Comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.